You were so excited about reading that. You didn't even do the pledge.
Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing there under those people and folks in harm's way. Thank you. So welcome to tonight's Cicero regular town board meeting at July 10th, 6:30 p.m. And would anybody like to come up and speak on behalf of the agenda items other than the public hearing items? Come on up.
Hello, can you hear me? Very good. I'm Jay Reardon. I live at 8763 Brewerton Road still. I'm about 2/3 of the way of moving out of there because the property's been sold to the Micron campus, but I'm here to comment on two non-public hearing items. Number 11 is Parks and Recreation. When I talk to Parks and Recreation people, from the very top to the very bottom, which I've been doing, I would surmise that they generally get the sense that they might be underfunded. You have 8 parks in Cicero. Williams Park Beach is going spectacularly with the splash pad and the playground and everything else that is there. But it's still a lot of parks if you compare this to other towns in central New York, especially some of them near Utica. I'm thinking like Whitestown because I'm very familiar with that. And they have like 1 or 2. You have 8, which is great and a huge community benefit. But I just wanted to convey the sense that I get from the people I'm talking to, that Parks and Recreation might feel that they're underfunded. This is going to come up later this year when you go through the budget for next year and your 2% tax cap. We had some political things about 2% tax cap last year, but if ever there were a time to violate the 2% tax cap like Manlius did last year with their 7% increase, around there, 6 or 7%, plus a whole bunch of excessive spending. I mean, you guys have always been much more conservative, much more concerned about the taxpayer. And if there's ever a time or ever a year to violate the 2% tax cap, it is this year. Speaking about number 14, Kate Fiorello is not here tonight. I understand she's been excused from this town board meeting. Pro Housing Community Program. The way I see it, being invited by New York State into this Pro Housing Community Program is much like attending a dinner party that you might not really want to attend. You can reference Larry David videos and Curb Your Enthusiasm for that. So you're disinclined to attend the dinner party, but hey, here's the thing. There's a July 31st deadline on the application, July 31st. Kate's going to have to really get to work, and I imagine this is going to involve a lot of work for Steve Procopio too. Just sign the letter of intent for now and let engineering report back to you on further developments as the comprehensive plan information is released. Kate and Steve sent their comments back for the committee request on July 1st. There'll be one more public meeting of the steering committee, as far as I understand, and then that public information will be released. But really, best practices to get that special dinner you want at the dinner party. Mr. Karp, you get this. Just sign the letter of intent and let the engineers figure it out. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Hogan, number 3.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve abstract number 25 dated 6/19/2024 and abstract number 26 dated 6/27/2024.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve budget modifications as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
First vote no or abstain, passed. This is a continuation from the June 26th, 2024 Town Board meeting to consider changes to Chapter 68 of the Town Code. We closed that public hearing on the 26th, and Councilor Carp, would you like to say anything at all?
We, understanding that it was probably exempt, we sent it to the county planning for GML 239M referral, just to cover our bases in case it's ever challenged. They said it was exempt. They don't have any comment, but we did check that box in the event that it ever is challenged. As I explained last time, this is really just tightening up the procedures for assessing a fee in lieu of parkland. As part of the site plan process for apartments in the town, we're going to be doing a similar thing with Chapter 185 on the subdivision, so that we can make sure that we're getting money for capital park improvements, like Mr. Reardon talked about, from developers when they build these, because these apartments are going to bring in more residents. Presumably, you're going to have more people, children, and otherwise, they're going to utilize these parks. And we do have 8 parks, but the amenities at them, some of them are pretty stretched. And if we're going to make better use and more complete use of some of the other parks, like Plank Road and also Gateway, we are going to need bathrooms, water, expanded parking facilities, more baseball fields, and that all costs money. So we, as much as possible, want to shift the burden of that to the developers when we can, because they can afford it.
Anyone else? Okay, this is an unlisted action. Move for the adoption resolution that the proposed action to adopt local law number 7 of 2024, approving changes to Chapter 28 or 68 of the Town Code in relations to fees in lieu of dedication of parkland, is an unlisted action for the purpose of seeker compliance. A short form environmental assessment form has been prepared, and modifications of the proposed action will not have a negative impact on the environment. According to the proposed action, it does not require preparation of a draft environmental impact statement or any other statement as adopted.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. Decision. Move the adoption resolution to approve changes to Chapter 68 of the Town Code in relation to the fees in lieu of parkland. The purposes of this change is to remove the specific dollar amount set forth in 68-18.1 so that the town board may alter the fee by resolution in the future, to be known as local law number 7 of 2024.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstained, passed. Public hearing to consider 6-month extension of the development moratorium for the Lake Shore area that was passed on February 14th, 2024. At this time, I'd wish to waive the reading of legal notices that were posted and advertised.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Councilor Carp, you want to give a brief overview or?
We passed a 6-month moratorium on basically just about anything relating to properties within a defined area, which is, if I thought of it, I would have had it available. The lake shore, the shore of the lake on the north, on the east. I don't know, Mr. Procopio, do you have the?
31 the Bridgeport
31
to
to Lake.
Sape.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we'll be back here to vote on it next time. It's the same area of the moratorium that we had last time. Does not apply to parcels under an acre that are used or zoned for residential. It also does not apply to anything that's basically accessory to an existing use. So example I used last time, if you own a marina, you need to build a pole barn, not a problem. However, it does prevent zone changes, building permits, site plans, et cetera, for the remainder of it while we are working on an overlay district and the comprehensive plan. I think it's a sense of the board. I know I've spoken to everybody about it, that the lakeshore area, and it is large, is a valuable resource for the town and really is the core around which we can rebuild the town, redevelop it, and make it into something that we will all be proud of, and that is going to be aesthetically pleasing and also useful and enjoyable for the residents and make people want to, even more than they already do, move here and stay here. So this is an important step in that process to make sure that we have control over the process until we've got the comprehensive plan, design standards, and overlay done. There is a provision for a hardship exception. In the first 6 months, we have not received any applications. Maybe we will in the next 6 months. Hope, and we will end this when we've got everything done. So if it's 4 months from now, 3.5 months from now, whatever, the moratorium will be ended.
Anyone else? Okay, open the public hearing at 6:41 PM. Anyone like to come speak on behalf or against?
Joey Reardon again for the public hearing. Why not 1 year? It was a 6-month moratorium initially, right? By the time that this comprehensive plan goes through its processes and gets translated to local laws, including things that are not necessarily in the comprehensive plan, like that 30-foot setback for residential areas. Just to give you an in-depth example here, I mean, as you translate the comprehensive plan information to local laws, the 30-foot setback for residential areas might want to be re-examined because they do tend to preclude accessory dwelling units and granny flats, other outbuildings. This did happen at the initial meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals earlier this month. By the time that this comprehensive plan information is translated to local laws, it is going to be a year from now. So why not just go for the whole year rather than 6 months? I'll take my seat and ask for a response.
Sure. I don't know that it's going to be a year. It might be. My concern, and I'm speaking for myself, the rest of the board can weigh in if they want. My concern with having it be longer is if it ends up not being a year, I don't like the idea of putting a 1 year in place that may not be necessary and the message that might send to people that are interested in building or developing in Cicero, because if it's not, and again, it may not be. I don't want anyone to go, oh, they just passed a 1 year moratorium. I'm not gonna be able to build anything for at least a year. I don't want to do that. So, and that may be an unfounded concern, but to me, that was the reason why I didn't want to make it a year to begin with. I would rather err on the side of caution and then just not, there is a sense, I've been told, that Cicero is not open for business and development. And I think I understand why people might feel that way in the past. I don't think it's accurate. I think there's a lot of asterisks that go along with that, but I certainly would not want to give that impression. And my concern with the 1 year moratorium starting now would be people might mistakenly get that impression. So that's, at least speaking for myself, that's why I want it to be another 6 months.
I would agree.
That's easy enough to extend again if we need to.
Yeah, we can. Yep.
There's no disadvantage between doing a 6-month and then extending. That gives us more leeway.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, with that being said, we will not close this public hearing. And we will keep it open
And we will send it out for the GML 239M referral.
until July 24th.
Will there be a county planning board meeting in the interim, Mr. Procopio?
To be submitted to
Okay,
the county. plan.
Perfect.
Okay, public hearing to consider changes to chapter 185 of the town code. At this time, I wish again to waive the reading legal notices that were posted and advertised.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Carp?
I mean, as I said last time when we scheduled this public hearing, this is basically the single-family residence subdivision equivalent of what we did with the apartments. Making it so the presumption, the default is they have to pay us money in lieu of parkland rather than requiring the planning board to go through a process, enter a whole bunch of findings. It does leave open, just as the apartment one did, the possibility of accepting a dedication of land if the planning board recommends it and then we decide to, as long as the value was at least equal to what we would get. In the terms of the fees, again, I can't imagine a scenario in which we would do that unless it was a particularly unique or valuable parcel. I don't think anyone's going to be offering us, prime land on the lake shore, on the shore of the lake to in lieu of parkland. But if they wanted to, certainly that's something that I think that we would want to consider. Other than that, again, unlikely, but why foreclose an option? So that's what this is about.
Okay, open the public hearing at 6:46 PM. Anyone like to come up and speak on behalf or against?
If you can get better money and better support for Parks and Recreation, go for it. It's great. Nobody's gonna, it would be very, very weird for somebody to donate parkland in lieu of fees, even including the fees that I proposed at a previous town board meeting, which were $7,500 to $10,000 per single family unit. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Close the meeting at 6:46 PM, and this will also go to county planning, correct? Thank you.
Just check the box. Yep.
And we're gonna leave this one open still,
Yeah.
and we'll leave it open until July 24th, 2024 for the next board meeting. Counselor Carp, you want to read the next one? It's not too long.
Need water tonight.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking, I should think out the cup. All right. I move the adoption resolution to approve the following. Resolve that pursuant to section 6C of the general municipal law as amended, there is hereby established a capital reserve fund to be known as the Police Vehicle Replacement Reserve Fund, hereinafter Reserve Fund. The purpose of this reserve fund is to accumulate monies to finance the cost of a type of equipment. The type of equipment to be financed from the reserve fund is the acquisition of patrol vehicles for the police department. The chief fiscal officer and town comptroller are hereby directed to deposit and secure the monies of this reserve fund in the manner provided by section 10 of the general municipal law. The chief fiscal officer may invest the monies in the reserve fund in the manner provided by section 11 of the general municipal law and consistent with the investment policy of the town of Cicero. Any interest earned or capital gains realized on the money so deposited or invested shall accrue to and become part of the reserve fund. The chief fiscal officer and town comptroller shall account for the reserve fund in a manner which maintains the separate identity of the reserve fund and shows the date and amount of each sum paid in the fund, interest earned by the fund, capital gains or losses resulting from the sale of investments of the fund, the amount and date of each withdrawal from the fund and the total assets of the fund, showing cash balance and a schedule of investments, and shall, at the end of each fiscal year, render to the board a detailed report on the operation and condition of the reserve fund. Except as otherwise provided by law, expenditures from this reserve fund shall be made only for the purpose for which the reserve fund is established. No expenditure shall be made from this reserve fund without the approval of the governing board, and such additional actions or proceedings as may be required by section 6C of the general municipal law or any other law, including a permissive referendum if required by subdivision 4 of section 6C.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain.
And I'd
Passed.
like to thank our new comptroller for this suggestion and for putting this together. Move the adoption resolution to approve the following. Resolved to appropriate $35,955 received from this auction of old police vehicles in April 2024. Revenue account 002-0000-2665-0000 and transfer $75,000 from budget line 002-3120-0220-001 vehicle replacement reserve expense fund to fund the police vehicle replacement reserve fund.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move the resolution to accept community policing donations made to the police department in the amount of $220.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move the adoption resolution to approve the attached petty cash policy as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve accepting a donated memorial bench from local pickleball players and having it installed by the Parks Department at Skyway Park. Approximate value of bench with memorial plaque, $775.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to hire James Twist as a part-time seasonal parks laborer at an hourly rate of $16 to start on July 11th, 2024, and contingent upon passing a background check. Budget code 001711001050000.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the sewer connection at Central Park. The work will be done under the town's contract with J.K. Tobin at an estimated cost of $124,000. The funding for this project will come out of the $250,000 ARPA funds that the town board already approved for park enhancements.
Second.
Discussion. The original was 70, how much was the original?
75.
75,000?
Yeah.
So can we vote on this as a whole and then take present an extra 50 out of the?
It's all coming out of ARPA. The 250 was just earmarked, right? It's still in the same.
Yeah, we just take it
Yeah.
as we go.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution for drainage pipelining for 4 various sized pipe runs, county contract number 0010984 from Precision Trenchless LLC in the amount of $249,359.20. Budget code 003-5112-4540-0000. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Lions Run 2 Lighting District. Move for the adoption of resolution to approve the property known as Lions Run 2, tax map 080.1-14-01.0 from the Consolidated Underground Lighting District to the Consolidated Decorative Underground Lighting District. A public hearing adding the property to a lighting district was held March 27th, 2024.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Pro Housing Community Program. Move for the adoption of resolution to apply for the New York State Pro Housing Community Certification. Communities with the Pro Housing Community designation are eligible to apply for more grant funding opportunities from the state.
Second.
Discussion.
I think Mr. Reardon had a decent analogy for this.
Yeah.
I mean, having looked at it myself, including the executive order that enabled it, there's no downside to it now. I have a feeling at some point there will be strings attached to it, but we can always back out of it
Right.
if that happens and it's unacceptable.
Sure.
And Robert, thank you for looking into it since the last meeting. Appreciate it. Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution authorizing the settlement of a claim for damage to siding at 7350 Rosewood Circle by paying $800 in full satisfaction of the claim to the contractor, C. Michael Exteriors, Inc. The siding was damaged by our highway department during normal operations. Payment includes both labor and the cost of new replacement materials.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Announce Onondaga County Division of Purchase will be accepting sealed bids for collection of all refuge, rubbish, and garbage and recyclables for the town of Cicero. Sealed bids for furnishing the collection and disposal of all refuge, rubbish, garbage, and recyclables for the town of Cicero will be received at the Office of Onondaga County Purchasing Director, 421 Montgomery Street, Syracuse, New York, 13202 until 2:00 p.m. local time on July 31st, 2024. The town of Cicero reserves the right to reject any or all bids.
Second,
Discussion. Well,
I'd like to thank,
That was quite the yeah.
well, that wasn't actually, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm so
Oh,
used to it. There
very
no one said anything, so I tried to fill the silence with a second.
Already been.
I'd like to thank,
Yeah.
Councilor Bacall. I'd like to thank all the work that you put into this. I know you put a lot of effort into it.
Supervisor Aragano.
And
did as
Aragano,
well,
yes,
sorry,
perhaps
yeah.
at times
Yeah.
being
I was-
frustrated by the lack of comment from us in some of it, but.
I think we worked very well. I thought Mike did a nice job. Supervisor Aragano, excuse me, did an excellent job of holding
I will say. it was a
holding
process.
people's feet to the fire, right? And making sure that these bids are, what the residents of the town of Cicero are looking for. So I appreciate all the work on that, and the communication between you and I was awesome, and I appreciate it.
Yes. Anyone else? No? All in favor?
Wait, it's not a motion. Do,
Still not.
Aye.
uncomfortable, awkward silence has to
Aye.
be filled with
There it is,
something.
there it is.
The last two items has been very quiet. Yeah.
Okay, discussion. I did have an opportunity to speak with Wayne Freeman about the highway radios and repeater. I believe we're gonna go towards the Onondaga County 911 system to use the repeater up in the top there. Wayne will talk to you guys more, send you more information about it. I think it's like 13,000 to replace these radios. As of this time, we have a tower here that hasn't worked in years and spotty radio frequency, and it's been pretty bad. So Wayne will reach out to everybody and send us the cost and whatever else. Just wanted to bring it up. I told him I would. Anyone else?
Now that I think about it, because just to warn everybody, you're gonna hear more about fee in lieu of parkland. I think we should probably address the possibility of condominiums being built in the future. But because of the 30% tax break that condominiums get on property taxes, whatever fees we charge for them should be higher than what is charged for regular apartment or single family residence. So get ready to hear about more fees in lieu of parkland and coming meetings.
Mike and I had the opportunity to go to the 25th anniversary of the canteen, was it 2 weeks ago? It was a great event, a lot of good turnout. So Teresa, thank you for your staff on making that such a successful program. So it was a great time.
Yeah, that was a great event. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else? No? Teresa, go ahead.
I just wanted to promote, this Saturday, we're having the Cicero Community Garage Sale, from 9 to 3 in the parking lot of the CNS High School next door to the canteen. We have over 30 vendors and, if you're able, come on out and do some shopping. We're also collecting donations up until noon on Friday. If you have items that you'd like to donate or you want to get rid of, if you donate them to the canteen, they're going to staff a booth and sell the items for the donations to go toward the canteen program. I also just wanted to report on the pickleball. The pickleball facility is complete. We are hanging some of the signs tomorrow and the nets go up on Friday. We have scheduled the grand opening for that. I sent out a thing about save the date, so please do that. It's set for Tuesday night, July 23rd, 5:30 to 8 at Plank Road Park. Everyone's invited. We'll have some food trucks and some contests and giveaways and a brief ribbon cutting ceremony. But again, July 23rd, Tuesday night, 5:30 to 8. Thank you. Also wanted to tell you about the splash pad. It is amazing how many people are coming to the park now. I mean, I knew it was going to be popular, but it is extremely popular and playground, we're getting all great reviews. Our pavilion rentals have more than quadrupled for this summer so far. It's like every Saturday and Sunday, they're all rented. So the only thing that we're noticing in the negative limelight is that tons of people are leaving their garbage. And a lot more people are coming and staying after hours. So we've had some concerns with that, but some growing pains, but we'll see how that goes. So thank you.
Your Thursday night events have been going well too.
The concerts?
Concerts
Yep.
have been going well, and thank you to the VIPs for helping traffic flow there.
Anyone else? Nope. No? Anyone from the public like to come up and speak?
Judy Boyke, Muskrat Bay. Just a quick question. Because we don't have a lifeguard at Williams Park,
A lifeguard.
lifeguard, what is our protection against the people who are swimming?
Do you want me to answer? So we don't have a swimming area. It's a waiting area and it's posted and signed as a waiting area and wait at your own risk. The depth of it does not go above your knee for adults. But we have beach attendants on, and we have 2 of them a lot of times, but there is an attendant on watching the beach, the playground and the splash pad. But we're not required to have lifeguards because we do not have a swimming area.
Right, but they're still swimming after hours or whatever.
Robert, if it says at your own risk, what is the
Yeah,
liability to
what's
the town?
our protection?
Well, we do have insurance. We are received, so to speak, whether or not it's a legitimate labor. Always get sued. But wait, not. Post the signs and we try to keep people out. That's the best you can do.
Well, I know, but I'm just for fear for us.
Hey, Robert, wouldn't that be the same? And I'm sorry to cut in,
Let's
Mrs.
go
Boyke.
ahead.
If we did have a lifeguard and then after hours, we had signs that said you can't swim here after hours, couldn't someone still
Same thing.
sue? Like, isn't that the same thing still? Yeah.
With the Night of Shores being closed because of the algae, are we still allowing
My
the
next-
waiting?
That was my next
and-
question because of the algae.
Yeah, it's go in whether you want to or not. You know, you don't have to wade. You don't
Okay.
have to go into the area.
Well,
I guess to swim at your
it
own
was so
risk.
crowded one day with all little kids, which is my concern of how many parents are watching me. Sorry, just my.
No, I
concern.
get it. I get it. I've made my clean feelings on the whole thing known, but no one agrees with me. But it's okay.
But
No, it's a concern. I mean, but like you said, nothing's ever going to prevent you from getting sued. So,
I assume that, but
I mean,
mean,
we
we
could
have-
put a 20-foot high barbed wire fence and someone could
Yeah.
climb over it and drown and then they'll sue us, you know?
no, I realize it, but I just,
It sounds like your concern isn't really getting sued. It's more about the safety of the
well, the
kids.
safety of the
right.
kids because it was so crowded and you know, how many of them are watching the splash pad and the other ones are watching the water. I just wondered if we had, I'm sure we had signs.
I wonder if there's more signs that we could put on,
Signs
just-
won't matter.
Well.
I know, but still, it can maybe help us. I know that even being there with, when my kids were even smaller, we would go with play groups. And for the types of parents that, you know, we would hang out with, we did read the signs, you know what I mean? So, and I was a pretty laid back mom, let my kids kind of run wild and free. But you know, signs mean something, not to everyone, but to some people. So even if there was, I don't know, if we could come up with some suggestions, or maybe I could talk to Teresa and we could come up with something that's maybe directed towards parents, you know, and the
The other-
safety of it.
Right. The other question is there anyone qualified? Not necessarily lifeguard, but the opportunity.
They all have CPR and first aid.
Okay, thank you.
It actually leads to a question somebody asked me. Have we noticed any small kids running from the splash pad down towards the water? Has it been an issue? Have you seen anything like that?
No, it's more, they,
Right.
they kind of go back and forth sometimes from the playground to the beach, or to the splash pad. They definitely run toward the water
yeah,
when they're
yeah.
building sandcastles and
Somebody
stuff
just
in the
asked,
sand,
so
but
I figured I'd
yeah.
pass along. I didn't figure it'd be.
And you said there's 3 attendants on site during hours?
no, one or two.
Okay,
But the majority of the hours, we have 3 staff in the office. And we, you know, one of us is usually, you know, making rounds, going outside too, so.
Okay, and coming up.
Just a quick comment on that. I've been to Williams Park quite a few times, trying to take videos, get video interviews. Anybody want to be video interviewed? I'd love to do it. But while I've been doing that, I have come across the staff at Williams Park Beach. There's usually 1 or 2 attendants on duty. To be honest, they don't have a lot to do. They instruct the kids on how to use the splash pad, which is not obvious. It's actually not obvious even for intelligent people like you guys on the town board. It would not be obvious how to activate that bucket. It requires a palm press on that little activator. It's called an activator, apparently. But they do keep a good watch out for the kids. I'd encourage you not, in contrary to what Judy said, perhaps, don't go overboard. I mean, they look out for the kids. If the kids go beyond the line, they'll call them back. But, you know, to be honest, if somebody is, I know it's might be against the law, but if somebody is swimming in there, that's the swimming line and they're adults, is it really a big deal?
Anyone else? Somebody make a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.